This is great music.
This is great.
Yeah. We're entering into a conversation with someone who speaks truth to power, not with hip-hop, but with just words. And you may recognize him from trending online over the last few days, or you may not have seen it, and we'll play that clip for you in a bit just so you can have context of who exactly he is. But Jevin Oyoo is in studio with us. He is a student at Eldoret National Polytechnic and also a youth activist. And we'll be discussing what is speaking truth to power? What's empowerment? When we say we're giving young people the mic, the seat at the table, all of those, what do they mean? But before all of that, let's have him hear the quote from Jano, and then we'll play that clip to give you context of what we mean by empowerment, courtesy of Jevin Oyoo.
But the quote, Jevin, today, it says, leadership is not about the crown. It is about the service. I'm sure you agree, right? Because what you were pushing for was service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what I can say, we are looking for service. And for you to get service, it requires a lot of courage. Standing and demanding for what you believe, constitutionally, it is there, and the service should be offered to you. It again takes courage and follow-up actions to get service from those you elected into power. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, without further ado, just a clip.
Yeah. I like what he's saying, because it's about not just looking at the leader and saying, oh, you play like you're wearing a crown, you know, give us something, but also you, as a person who has actually elected that leader,
demanding that service.
demanding that service, or just holding them to account, which is what Jevin was doing. Let's play that back. It was
put it in the constitution. He said, "Ujua kwa kitabu
imesema
hivi." Yes, as you go to demand for that service.
Kitabu ile katiba.
Kitabu ile katiba. Yes, perfect.
Where was this? It was at a presidential event, and the president was addressing the youth. It was World Youth Day, right? The president is speaking to the youth, and then says, "See, we engage, patia vijana mic waongee." This one kijana asks for the mic. This one kijana is given the mic, and watch what this young kijana told the president.
I'm saying this boldly as a believer of kumi bila break. So situaribi appetite, make sure you do what the voters want so that we'll celebrate you in 2027. Mimi kama the Dean of Comrades, sisi tunaona umempower sana watu wa secondary. Unawapea free food primary hapo Nairobi. Unadhani sisi Comrades tumeshiba? Bwana President, we are tired of dying in silence. Do something to the comrades across different universities. We are also starving. Ya mwisho kabisa, Bwana President, as I finish, I've tabled interest of everybody in this nation. It's now my turn to table my own interest because this is the last time I have. Mimi nimetoka all the way from Wasingishu, nimekuja na pikipiki. Nikirudi wewe make sure umenipanga venye unapanganga watu. On behalf of the 100 comrades that are present, asante sana.
Asante. Comrade. Umesema umefikaje hapa? Na pikipiki. So unataka kurudi aje?
Unataka kurudi aje?
Alafu alisema tuongee
behind the tent.
Behind the tent.
So the thing is, opportunities are never gotten. It's very odd to get opportunity with the president. So I was like, I will live here, and again I would have talked to the president. And again, getting that chance to address the president was not a walk in the path. It also took me something to get to that place. I had to carry my own men and assure those around me when I stand, I'll table your interest. And then I was also sure, being son of a dead person, my father died years back. And he taught me one thing. As a young man, when you go to table of dignitaries, if you get a chance, table the interest of everyone. And lastly, do not forget to table your own interest. I think where my father is kind of resting in peace, because in 2 occasions, I've tabled my own interest.
And now I took behind the scenes wanafanya makofi.
Yes.
Because I've had 2 platforms, and I think I've been on the limelight for some time. And even people have given me a name, the Omba Omba Comrade. And I embrace the name because what does it take to be an activist? You will be there fighting for people, fighting and tabling the interest of young men, the interest of the youth, and nobody will talk about it. You will get a chance, go to the police station, fight with those police officers and tell them to release a given person who is not guilty. You get. And they will never talk about that. But if you meet the president and tell him to give you something, that's where we draw the line.
Do you think he's going to listen to you and everyone else from here on, or do you feel like, okay, nimemwongelesha, alinisaidia, you'll tell us how you got home, by the way, Jevin? And are you encouraged that he's going to now start listening, or do you feel like, I don't know, I just did what I could, I don't know if he's going to take my concerns and youth concerns going forward?
So, in matter of youth concerns and the president, actually, I never thought the president, because after that, indeed, I saw him nyuma ya tent, which again was not easy. Being a grown-up man and then the NIS are all over and the police, you can imagine penetrating your way to get close to the president. It was not a walk on the path. But at least we talked for minutes. In fact, it went to history. I'm the first person in my lineage to ever shake hands with the president, of which I don't take that as an achievement. But I want to say the end result of the talk with the president. I did talk to him. And what he told me was, we fanya aje, leo andika namba yako hapa, nitakupigia simu. Then those around me felt so disappointed. Like, bro, how you unaongea hivyo mingi, you are going to meet the president and then we are going back with the same bus we came with. That is so alarming. So they were so disappointed. But I also said, if he calls me, okay. If he does not call me, then again, it's okay. Shock on me, he called me. I never picked. He called me. I never picked because I was like, the PA is calling me to follow up. He wants so, and then people will threaten me with abduction and like that. I'm like, people got to die through. If you know what you're doing, you got to do it. So what I did, he texted, hello, call. And then I said, maybe it's him. So I called. He picked. Shock on me. He picked. He asked me a big question that could be life-changing. You know, when somebody asks you, what do you want? That's a very big question. I was like, I want my father brought back to life, which he could not do. So we fumbled. I had to look for something to tell the president that he will see I'm not tabling my own interest. So I had to think of something within the minutes that he had given me. And one thing I told him is about a program that we are running in Uasin Gishu, which is empowering over 50 youth. It's all about, we are running a community-based organization and we are struggling to get grants. So what he can do is find a way to help us access some grants or do something to the organization. Through that, everybody will feel like maybe for the first time, Jevin had a chance to talk with the president in privately and never asked him for anything. So he told me he's going to follow up on that. And if that program will come out, I will also be the first person to come out and say, courtesy of the president. So-and-so is empowered and this program is running courtesy of the president. I think that is all I got to say on that regard. Na hiyo mambo ingine ya kunipanga mambo ya tent. Hiyo sasa nikiongea hapa, everybody is going to call me after this to ask me how did it go. I may not want to bring it on air, but we did talk. Yeah.
Lakini ulirudi aje? Ulirudi aje home?
Pikipiki hapo.
Mambo ya dunia. As a young man, you must learn to struggle. We just went back the same way we came. Yeah.
Na hiyo pikipiki ni basi lakini.
Ni basi ndudhi. Unajua ukipatana na mzae.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you, Jevin. Did the president offer you something like yako kitu?
He did. At first, he asked me if he was going to offer me something. Then I told him something very challenging when he was about to hang up. And then I told him, sir, now that I've talked to you and that photo is trending, I shook your hands. You know, as the dean of Comrades, Comrades are already reaching out, asking if they can eat for around 2 or 3 days on my bill. And that is quite challenging. Then he laughed and said he'll look into it. Indeed, Comrades ate.
Walikula kakitu. At least wakulala njaa.
So it's not the dean of Comrade for formality. You know, it's a name I was given by students because at the last bullet, I'm the only one standing. And shock on you, I came on the limelight the other day after I addressed Waziri Murkomen after some time. Then I later addressed the president. But you find the past mandamano that we did the other time, I was on the forefront, leading from the president's backyard. We were the people who were leading that mandamano. So we were there all time. And I was wondering, all that time, we never came to the limelight when we were doing a bad thing. But indeed, if you, again, it's also a proof that you can also do good things and come to the limelight. Yeah.
You told him, usituharibie appetite, because you're a firm believer of kumi bila break. What did that mean?
Yeah, I meant it. I meant it. You know, just to come back to fixing the nation, you know, the problem we have with activists and young people in Kenya is that we don't see the positive part of the president. We don't see the positive part of the government. We don't see the efforts that the government is putting in place, even by the definition of empowerment itself. Empowerment is giving people the ability, the tools, and the confidence to secure the future life. That is the definition of empowerment as per me, an activist. You know, the president is giving us the tools. Yeah? When somebody gives you a motorbike, somebody gives you a trolley, you know, people feel like, I've gone to school, I'm a graduate, bana. Why a motorbike? You get. But in the definition of empowerment, you are given tools. And then, if you define now the breakdown of empowerment, types of empowerments, you'll find personal empowerment. That is a key thing that young people have refused to embrace. You cannot empower yourself personally and you want the government to empower you. That is a lie. Personal empowerment means building personal confidence. You go somewhere and you speak confidently and say, my CV is right. And if they don't shortlist you, you shout and leave. I've done that severally. That's why I go to places, I speak my mind, I leave. They say I'm disrespectful. But it's right. It's high time as the young people, we come out for what is right. If something is not working the way you feel it should work and it should work that day, say no to it. Nobody's going, they are going to crucify you, but at long last, if you get to die, you will have to die.
Oh, you die anyway.
Yeah.
So what are the things that have worked for you or, you know, are working, or the good things of the president and the administration, like you say? What are those things that tick boxes for you?
One, the president has done a lot of economic empowerment. Economic empowerment is when young people, personally I want to speak on the young people. You have registered an organization. Hope Safaris, for instance, is my own organization. So we've been thinking how to maybe extend it, because as youth-led organizations, we are depending on those overseas to give us resources to run these organizations. And many organizations that are doing positive things in Kenya, I can tell you, are really struggling to get to the limelight. They are really struggling to get personal donations from people to go to those schools, empower the ladies, give them sanitary towels. Yet, if an organization can look for a side running program and that can generate income to the organization, then that income can be used in return to do another thing. So we've been thinking of registering an empowerment or a supply company through the community-based organization. And the one thing I noticed during this process, it's one thing the government is doing, is the government is ensuring once you secure a tender as a youth-led or as a youth, they give you loans if you don't have money maybe to secure the tender. Once you get the tender number, you can get Oyoo fund from your end to secure the loan. That is giving you the tools. That is now giving you the tools. So it is up to you to have the self-confidence to go for the tools that the national government is providing for you to secure the tender. You see? And then we as young people, we have this mentality that it is not going to work. Hata hizo vitu tukipeleka bana si hakuna bana. The system is corrupt. So they always tell me, who do you know that knows who, that has what? That is the question that you need to solve in order to get these services from the government.
So give us an example of where it worked for you.
Where it worked for me.
Well, all these things, for example, being able to access this capital from the Youth Empowerment Fund, from Oyoo Fund, from the Hustler Fund, the new one that was launched last week, what was it? Nyota, right?
Yes.
Nyota, which could help your CBO, because it can help your CBO. Have you been able to access any of these, and has it worked for you?
So, the first time, we are under the process of applying for Oyoo Fund, and the money has already been approved. And the organization is going to venture that money into agriculture. And
how do you apply for Oyoo Fund?
Oyoo Fund. You go to the CDF office. After going to the CDF office, you go to the Oyoo Fund office. You get a form. You key in your details, And then you submit those details there. There you will be called. Once you have been approved for the loan, you will be called, trained. That training alone is empowerment. Is giving you the skills on financial literacy. How to run when you get the funds. How will you handle the funds? Once you get the funds, where can you plug the funds? Because they will advise you on relevance to the application that you made. So even applying for these funds and being shortlisted so that you go there and be vetted and taught on financial literacy that some organizations are charging some fee to offer, that alone is empowerment. I want to say the first time I ever got to do supply, I never submitted papers. That's the first tender I ever got. I'm not a rich person, but I know a lot of rich people that don't help me. That is now the problem of knowing rich people. They can only reach you. You can never reach them. So the first time I ever got a tender was through the governor of Uasin Gishu, Governor Chelel MP. He said verbally, they are looking for young people who can print shirts. I had no idea on how to print shirts. So because I was the noisy one, I just came and said, sir, I'll print shirts. You know, when you are a dignitary, people respect you so much, so that even what is eating them down there, they won't say it. And that is what is killing the young people. Say what you feel you want to say. You never know. That is your chance. If I would have not I did shout by that time, I wouldn't have met the president. You see?
Only print shirts.
Yeah, that's how I got the tender.
You figured it out.
I just raised my hand and said, sir, I'll print the shirts. And then he was like, how will you do it? I had now to lie to him. Told him, sir, we have a supply company that prints shirts. And then I told him a location where he could not locate. I told him the interior part where I come from. Langas, Kisumundogo. I will tell him, come to Langas. And you know, he will not create time to come.
Jevin, I want to ask you.
So only print shirts.
No, you still want to find out if
did you actually deliver the shirts?
Yeah.
I printed the shirts.
How did you actually print the shirts?
I just told somebody, I have a gig. You have machines, and then I'll bring blank shirts from Nairobi. So you will print at 180, and I'll tell the governor we are printing for 300. Then he told me to print 300 shirts. Then he gave me half the money. Then I told that guy, I want to lie to him, I'm rich. So what you do, print the shirts. So that's also bring me to a contest. When a youth decides to stand for a youth, we are making it. The enemy of the youth in empowerment is the youth. A friend is working at the Nyota or whatever office. And this friend, when you reach out to them even to train you or give you information on how to access these things, they don't want to, because they feel you are going to go ahead of them. You see, if that guy wouldn't have linked me to the printing shop, I wouldn't have printed those shirts. The first time I ever handled more than 100,000 in history, son of a dead person. So in order to convey to him, and he's my friend to date. Governor Chelelim is my friend to date. He will call me and ask me how I'm doing. I tell him, oh, sir, I'm doing good. How is school? Oh, school is okay. Because he entrusted me with a little thing, and I delivered it. You know, as young people, we cannot even be trusted with car wash money. You go to school, somebody gives you an opportunity. Can you handle the car wash?
I want to ask you something before we go into a break, and we'll come and learn a little bit about your education. But you said something in the beginning. You said young people don't think the government works. Maybe there's some young people who are grappling with a government that they feel has infringed on their rights. You know, they've seen people dying, they've seen people tortured. How do you speak to a young person like that to buy into the confidence of trusting this government again? Somebody who's listening now, they're like, hey, I don't know, I can't trust them. I've seen what they've done. But you're saying, no, but they've also done something good. How do you speak to the mindset of a young person who just does not trust the government?
So you know, mentality can never be changed. We can only tune mentality. You look into somebody's eyes and you give him sense to see. You know, when you don't look again, when you look like the problems, and you offering loans, and you don't look like somebody who is offering those loans, they will not believe you. So you just have to look like somebody who the government has helped. Like now, it's easy for me to convince somebody that the government can help, because if I can travel all the way to stand before the president and talk to him, that has clicked something from the slums where I reside. Somebody believes, and they will come and greet me and say, so the president can be greeted. Then I tell him, yeah. So I stand at a position right now to convince the young people from the slums that meeting the president, or rather the government that is being run by the president, His Excellency the President, can also do something. These services can also be accessed. You get. But it's just that, again, understanding where I stand in this government has never been easy. Because you don't know whether I'm supporting it or I'm not supporting it. But I'm only trying to be a truthful man. If you have a friend who tells you this and this is wrong, it's better than a friend who keeps telling you, keep pushing, keep trying.
You'll get there. We're getting into a break. Charles Hapa Mesema, the word there is a lie. What if the system were working, he wouldn't have been required to lie? Because remember, he said he had to say,
I can print.
I can print. So we'll unpack that and just learn more about, just how to reframe trusting government as a young person. But it's coming up to 8:30. We'll come back, talk a little bit about that thin line between kujitolea, to lie, to do what you've got to do, and to take an opportunity. Coming up to 8:30, we'll be back in studio with Jevin.
He delivered the t-shirts.
Fixing the Nation. We'll be right back. Exactly. CK Collins Kemboy says, you are an inspiration. We're proud of you, Comrade. We're indeed picking a lot of lessons from your hard work and dedication. Charles Ndungu is saying, the day we realize that the president is the one who should be excited to greet any of us, that will be the day. He's our servant, not vice versa, which is really what today is about. Fixing the nation. Am I living in this country or somewhere else? Because I haven't really seen anything tangible that the president has done except dishing out money that can't be accounted for or its sources are not verified. Well, that is the conversation we're having today. What are they saying on Facebook?
Kiptanui says, Oyoo Kasam, big up man, vijana ni nguzo to the world. And Joel Ontieri says, tucheze your video, kiongelesha CS, tutaitafuta tucheze pia. Many more comments, people who are just saying, you're doing a good thing, Kiptanui. Joel, Asaf are saying hello to you. Joel Ontieri says, you're wisdom. Wisdom.
You, over the break, actually, we're talking about, how to speak truth to power respectfully and how that makes a difference, because you do it in school, Dean of Comrades, tumesema hiyo ni unofficial title, but you are essentially, the voice of your comrades. Then you're doing it at county level, you're doing it now at national level. So what does that look like? Because speaking truth to power is important, yes, but then it's very easy to be dismissed if you do it in a certain way, because then it's like, oh, ana huyu kijana, ana heshima, So yes, how do you speak truth to power respectfully?
So, I use a simple term. My mother, I think, raised me well. So I used simple terms. You see, Kenyans listen to truth through jokes. That is the only way to talk to a Kenyan. Anybody who is born and bred in Kenya, tell them a truth through a joke, and they will listen to you. And you can also be too serious for some conversations, and that is not me. I now stand with a big book and read points. Hell no. We can be too serious for some conversation. Like it's like you're going for a football match and you're dressed in a suit, like my brother does.
Which brother is this?
That is very tricky, you see.
What's wrong with that?
But again, people have their own way of handling things. Maybe that is his own way of handling it. I also have my own way of handling it. So one thing I will do, I've mastered that system, that whenever you go, Kenyans listen to the truth that you tell them through a joke. Because it will sound funny, but when you sit alone in your house, it now makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I want to come back to this issue.
No, it's okay. We've talked about the power of humor several times, and he's absolutely right. It takes a sting out, but the message still lands.
What happens, though, sometimes I see, is we take it because we are not personalizing it. Right? We take it as a joke. So it's funny, and so you leave it like that. It's a joke, it applies like a joke, it's a message to other people. We can laugh, but never will you take it seriously, like, hey, there's a point I'm gonna make.
Right.
So you're laughing about it so that you just also can just dismiss it.
So then you find yourself laughing with the people. Yeah, the people who you were meant to be laughing at are laughing with you. Yeah, okay.
And they also don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
So it's never serious.
Yes. What are the effective ways of holding government accountable from a youth perspective? Because some will say, okay, if the government is listening but not acting, how do you then go ahead and hold them accountable?
Yeah, so what most of us will do is we feel like we cannot address the government. And the only way to address the government and the only way to be an active person involving yourself in government issues, that youths don't go. I will assure you, go to any public participation, you'll find two youths, me and another youth that I came with. You know why? And yet, you don't find youths in public participations. It's very odd. And when you invite them, what will they ask you? Where? Anatoa ngapi? So you are like, a young person is needed to go and give his opinion towards something that is going to affect maybe the whole county. And then they ask you how much you are paying them to go and pitch their idea. Then if you tell them, come, we'll give you 500 shillings. They say the idea is too big for 500 shillings. You get. So, and this brings me to a point that I will really want the president to listen to this. If we are fixing the nation, one thing we need to understand on the docket of young people, we need to find a youth advisor to the president. You know why? Anybody who is not believing in the young revolution is going to mess up big, even in 2027. And that brings me to a small quote that I want to say, that empowerment is like a bank. Leaders deposit opportunities or they will withdraw voters. If you don't deposit opportunities to us, 2027, we will withdraw the votes. That's a very clear tag. Because if the young people could come to public participations, give their ideas, then they will see. I think we've messed up. I'm under a program of Vijana Ninguzo. These are very dedicated young people that do things for free. And one thing we do, we make sure that if there is any public participation taking place anywhere, we will be there. I understand the statistics. I'm proud to have been born in Migori, raised and bred in Homa Bay, went to further studies at Wasingishu. Mark you, all these places I know the governor and understand these places. Why? Because I go to places they can be found.
Public participation.
You go to a public participation, you sell your idea. If you feel they have suggested something that is not adding up for you, you refuse.
Like public participation doesn't reach them. So we were speaking to students in Kisii University. Generally, when we've spoken to younger people, and I don't want to blanket that, but what comes up is we don't see the call for public participation. The leaders will say, but tulioka kwa gazeti, we put it on the radio. The young people will say, unaweka kwa gazeti?
Mimi nisome. Nisikize
Why
radio.
can't you come to me where I am? But you sound like you're very familiar. So is there a gap in how public participation is announced? Or are you saying, no, young people are standing in the way, they can actually find that information?
So at a point, you find some leaders are bringing personal interest. So most of the projects they proposed are for their own benefit. So they will not allow you to attend a public participation. Just know a few people that are on that line that are standing on the side of a Mwananchi. You will never call to, just know a few activists. You will always access these places. So it's not once, it's not two eyes that we've stolen, I'm sorry to say this, that we've stolen and refused to return one of the attendance list of a public participation. You know why?
Why?
Because we felt the ideas that they were forcing us, they were telling us to write our names in that attendance list and sign, proving that we accept what they said. You get? So what we did, we tell them, we want you to first go and access what we said the other time. Make sure that even it is 85% done. When it is 85% done, we come back and sit and discuss.
So Jevin, there's so many flaws that we're getting, like just from what you're saying already, in the way that public participation is done. One, you're saying know a few activists. Ideally, you shouldn't have to know an activist. Maybe it's the way things are right now, but you shouldn't have to know an activist or be part of government to know that there's public participation. So I think it's valid when people say, find me on TikTok, Mrs. Kizi Radio, Sisome Gazeti. Then now there's also the issue of people are trying to get you to sign your name you know, for something that you've not agreed with. So clearly there's flaws, even as we try to fix the nation and we try to get young people to be actively involved in politics and in public participation. Clearly kuna kashida mahali.
there is a gap. And I think that's why I said we need youth advisors to these people. The governor as a personal advisor, even political advisor.
Let me stop you there.
Yes.
There's a whole state department for youth affairs.
Yeah.
And there are enough advisors.
Those are meant to create policy around young people. There's a youth fund. Wait, youth fund Baduiko? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Ziko zote, but I mean, the law encourages the government to communicate with its citizens, even including digital platforms and new media. It's in the law, right? So when they don't do it, like Jevin is saying, it's all because kuna kamchezo kanachezo hapa hivi.
Yeah.
Right? So how then do the youth who intend to do it get ahead of the curve? Because I feel sometimes we'll quickly jump into that excuse of saying, but they didn't invite me.
Yeah.
And like he's saying, if you intended to get that information, you'll get it.
Yeah.
If you intended to know where public participation is happening, so because you want to participate, you will find out. You'll find out, you will see there was a meeting somewhere. The meeting will take place in a place that you live in. It's not that those meetings take place in old people homes and the young people were not in the old people homes, so they were not aware.
I disagree.
But the places that is happening.
Think about in urban settings, especially where the populations are large,
Yes.
there's not much community,
Yes.
how are you meant to reach those people, especially because you might not want to participate in everything that comes to the county assembly, for example,
Yes.
but there are those things that will touch you. How do I know if they're creating, I don't know, new stadia, something that they'll need to cut part of the road? Something like that. I'm interested in sports. I would love to participate.
Yes.
But if I am, again, not...
So you're interested in sports?
Yes.
How do you get your sports information, related information?
Online.
Which ones? Which sport-related information are you talking about? Local?
Yes, local.
Right?
Yes.
Local government? Governance local?
No.
Okay. So that's it. So find out where are the people who are dealing with local government sports issues actually engaging.
Why does it have to be so hard to find out where they are? Make it
It's not
easier.
hard to find out. It is not
It's
hard
also
to
not
find out.
super
know.
easy.
I think for the first time, the men in this conversation are railing on the same boat.
It can actually
see,
be, it
accessing
can
the
get
first
easier
time.
at some time. At some
Gender
point, it can
image,
get
sasa
easier.
We are on the same page. Unajua naona like we are on the same page because I was trying to reason. You know, ladies are people that are very hard to approach, more so in terms of governance, because a number of them are not concerned. And if there are those that are concerned, you will basically spot, who is concerned. You
Not
know,
concerned.
there are people who are not concerned
Women
at
are
all.
not concerned about governance
Wanakuja,
issues.
they see, wanaona unaweka bridge hapo, they're like, umetukumbuka.
No, Jevin.
It's
This
not
is-
about not being concerned. Mariam, go ahead.
Yes.
Tell me.
No.
Because
women and men are concerned about governance issues across the board. I think there's a whole conversation to be had about accessing spaces, feeling locked out. That exists. I wouldn't say it's not because somebody's not interested. And that's changed so much. I feel like the passion and participation is equal among young people now in many ways, I think. So I don't think it's a lack of concern. I think, from what I'm hearing in this conversation, it's a lack of trickle-down information.
Yeah.
Number one, also what we saw previously, last year when there was a lot of eagerness around public participation, I found that the announcements would be made very late. And you're told you have 1 day or 2 days to send feedback, or you have 2 days to come and join us in this public participation. So people would say, had I known, had I been given a week or two notice in advance, I'd make arrangements to come. Number one. Number two, it seems like there's already an agenda when the public participation is set out. To what he said, it already seems like they know what they want, they know who they want.
They just
Whoever
want you
comes,
to co-sign.
they just want you to co-sign. But I wouldn't say... I
Women
wouldn't say it's as easy to find. Even as Latif is saying, local governance,
It's not
it shouldn't
as easy.
be that hard to find.
It's not as easy, all right?
Right.
But how you're going to... That quote again,
Service and the crown.
right, and the way Jevin interpreted it and said, how do I hold them to account, right? How do I engage? So we have seen, let's say, in the last 12 years of devolution, all these county governments are having public participation on development of CIDP, on development of the annual development plans, on development of the local budgets. They're having meetings. If you go to those meetings, just because a majority of Kenya's population, over 75% are youth, the meetings there will be attended by the youth. How do those youth find out about it? Sir, Yeah, they have been organized, they've been mobilized, they've been done this and the other. Jevin and others will find out because they are engaging, they're mobilizing. Then they'll go and do what Jevin has been saying they're doing. We go in there and we take over that meeting. And we say, you are not coming here to rubber stamp using our names on a list. You are coming here to make sure that you answer for the last time that we told you what we told you.
The last financial year.
And so
before
on
we
and so
go to
forth.
the conversation of the next financial year.
Jevin will then mobilize other people to come to the next meeting. It's upon now more and more people saying, I want to attend that next meeting.
Mariam, where do you think the gaps are with that and also with the thing for
and
women?
Then now, and then start, I think let's not go into the women and the men thing. Let's
a little bit, just a comment,
yeah,
because it's important.
It is. Think of the fact that when you think of public participation, it's often set up in the form of a baraza.
Yes.
When you think of a baraza, automatically you think of a baraza ni ya wanaume. That's just a fact, unfortunately. It's the way we set up because it's almost like a council and it comes from tradition. So I'm not saying it it says that this is for, the men, but no, it does have the implication. Again, especially outside urban areas. Those are just facts. That's the truth. So the women
especially outside urban areas, Mariam. Actually, many of the people who participate in meetings, in political meetings, are women.
But just to
Jevin
add on top,
says
I want to
the women come and say, mnatuwekea daraja.
Oh, that's
Asante.
good. They don't know. Umetukumbuka. That's a common phrase. I say
Are you
this
seeing
because it's hard to understand where I stand. Whether I'm a student or I'm a common mwananchi. I've been a common mwananchi because I am a personal parent here. I'm in charge. The rent, I'm in charge. The school, I'm in charge. So I've interacted with both the society and both the comrades. And I want to credit one person. That is the governor who was in Gishu County. I've been in that place. He adopted the digital system where you don't actually need to go to that baraza physically. So the governor introduced a system where you can give your opinion and comments online. So you only need to have the document, go through the document, highlight the section that you want to talk about. You get, and then you give your comment and your opinion. Then that committee will again sit with others and read those comments, and people will go through it. And I think young people are not having that time to come to barazas and take bottles of soda and leave. I think we should embrace technology. Now that technology is coming, to fix the nation, we need to embrace technology. If that system can be developed, we have a lot of people who are developing softwares and maybe with things that can handle stuffs like this. But they are not given this opportunity. But finding a young person who will volunteer to create these things and present it like, this is what I've done. Opportunity is also given to those who want them. You will find maybe they are looking for people who have these ideas. But a young person with this idea has made this program and is seated home. My encouragement to young people my encouragement to comrades is, just try. I think that's the only solution for now.
Jitole.
Just try. You may be not making any efforts. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in your own efforts. But maybe because of your mother's prayer, who knows? A miracle may happen.
I want to ask you, and I'll find out just before, I want to leave this whole gender conversation, but I want to leave you with the task. Find out why they're not going. I think what you've said, it's maybe something you've observed. It's fine. Yeah. So next time, just find out whether it's true, whether it's a lack of being bothered about the matters, or it's something else. And then through some channels you can reach us, because I think it's important that we unpack, because I'm also seeing one or two people here on the comments saying, yeah, it's true. We know it's true, maybe because Mariam and I actively participate, but just find out and hold them to account and be like, why aren't you coming? And then let us know. But what did you study, Jevin, in uni?
So my education is very complicated. I think those who know me, you know me very well. I'm a student of engineering, civil engineering, building construction technology, and because I have focused much on landscaping, that is what I do. I do cabro installation. I also do garden curbs and general exterior design, as I call it. Those from the City of Champions will identify with me as somebody, one day I'm in suit, the other day we are rusting on those streets. Just an encouragement that just do what you got to do. Because for somebody, I believe, for somebody to award you a contract, you must have done something. for you not to solve that question of who knows who, that has what, that knows who. You just have to be doing something. And the line of doing what you do, your experience can be noticed and you can be picked and placed somewhere. But the young people who have studied engineering during my era that you were to graduate with last year, unfortunately, I went out of school. You know, they are working in M-Pesas in the village. And me, as somebody who had not even graduated then, I was already doing petty contracts, few meters. You know why? Because I was committed to that field. Unaenda unafanya kazi ya mkono ukijua napata experience. Maybe if I'm given a job, I know how to execute it. And this is why it is so hard to convince university students to come and do these jobs. They are also good people, but they are so hard to convince and bring them to a conversation. You need to keep trying before you get there. And also, those in these offices should not treat us as if when we ask them for attachment and internships, those are favors they are doing us. Empowering citizen isn't a favor from any government. It is the right of citizens to be empowered. And this I can echo with the loudest voice so far. The leaders need to empower us. Giving us this, like you find now the nurses that have gone on strike that were evoked from their attachments. You get, that was a form of empowerment. Nobody will give you a certificate as a nurse without going for internship. You get. But if somebody evokes you from internship because you have not graduated, yet you have a letter of completion, so you find that is challenging. So I think we should try and embrace young people. Keep them busy so that they will not be idle to engage in things that they should not be engaging in. You know, we are on the street so much at a point because we don't have what to do. My friends will tell me, Mr. Principal, we have the whole time to wait. We are not busy. So we should find things that are keeping the young people busy. Yeah, opportunities. The youths are having the information. We need now the tools. Yeah, we have soft skills. We have certificates on soft skills and employability skills. But where do we get employment?
Do they have information really?
I believe they do.
Like now, how many youth know about all these opportunities where you can get through Youth Empowerment Fund, Nyota Fund, all these other funds where you can actually get access to money, access to this training, access to start something small, access to accelerate your business? How many have that knowledge?
I think there are things that are being advertised. And even if you look at what PS Fikirini Jacobs recorded the other day, it was urging young people that they have introduced a new system of applying for government tenants. You don't need to write a letter to that office. You only need to key your supply company documents via the e-citizen website. Then through there, they will not check that for how long have you done these supplies. But so you also can't get information when you don't follow those with those information. You see, you can't tell me you want to get an information from the PS, you have a smartphone, you have bundles, and you don't even follow people who have information regarding you. That is again being disrespectful. You don't respect yourself. There is somebody who has information that concerns you as a jobless youth, as me, and you don't listen to that person who wants to give you two opportunities. That is also being disrespectful to yourself. You are being mean to yourself. You follow women and men online, but you can't follow that entertain you. You prefer entertainment to getting a job.
People here are saying, many of them are saying systems. Joanne says, your case is isolated. Most youth are suffering out here. The systems are chaotic. That's the truth, right?
Some of us, yeah.
Millennials are so judgmental on the youth. You get to seek jobs, then boom, Zaya anasema nyinyi Gen Z.
That is the challenge again we are having. You see, fixing the nation is so hard. Fixing the nation is so hard. You know why? But we'll have to fix it because we have taken that mantle to fix it. What I want to say, you go to a county where a youth officer is 63 years of age.
Youth officer.
Cannot even save the phone number to his phone or her phone. Then they convince you that is a youth office. I think for us to fix the nation, these are things we should be battling with. If there is a docket that calls the name of a youth, let a youth be there. Let a youth be there. Let my mom now sit and rest. I'm so lucky my mom never went to any school to access any white collar job. She has been working since I was born. To date, she's working. Because she created employment for herself. You get. But when we have matters that concern youth, and the person addressing you is 70, 58 years of age. How do you reason with such a person?
Jevin, we are out of time, Kabisa.
Right.
In 30 seconds, I wanted to find out, how are you going to sustain this momentum? You know, I know when you came and sat down, the first thing you said is, first, it's been overwhelming, right? The attention you've gotten. You obviously have a voice and a gift to talk about issues, but how are you going to be able to sustain this over the years? Because you also have to look after yourself. Energy, how are you going to sustain
What
yourself?
I'm going to do, I just have to keep my circle. Those who believe in me. I have a very few. I know so many people, but I listen to few people.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to listen to those who believe I can. Then secondly, I've been online. People have to talk about you. So that is something that I've mastered. Positive and negative, we soldier on. Once you're an activist, you'll always be on the limelight as long as you're standing on the side of Mwananchi and you're telling them the truth no matter how hard it cracks. Yeah.
All right.
Very well said. Jevin, thank you very much for joining us. Jevin Oyoo, tuko watatu. Achia kitu ya Comrade.
Oh my God.
Toka
Labda mia.
kwa mdosi. Si mbaya. Tutachukua. Keep it here. More conversations coming up. Even in the next hour, we talk about youth, you know, and the place of youth in politics, in empowerment, in just understanding. I don't even think we need to have a department for youth or ministry for youth. How can you have a ministry for the majority of
Exactly.
people? I don't get it. Anyway,
It's called
back in a
government.
moment.
That's
it.